At Farms.com Risk Management, we understand that commodity price risk management and sound financial advice are essential in today's volatile crop and swine sectors. Visit our website at www.riskmanagement.farms.com.
This is Michelle Lamern, Commodity Research Analyst with Farms.com Risk Management, with this week's Farms.com Crop Report. Japan suffered a devastating 9.0 magnitude earthquake last Thursday evening on March 10, 2011 that sent commodity and stock markets around the globe literally free-falling early this week over uncertainties that demand would drop. As the old saying goes, when it rains it pours. The strongest ever earthquake for Japan and the fourth most powerful earthquake on record since the early 1900s was followed by a tsunami that made the world say wow and caused a nuclear plant explosion that is still not rectified. Many market watchers were looking for a major geopolitical event as a catalyst for a sharp sell-off in commodities and equities, but no one thought that a natural disaster would be the biggest trigger for a sell-off. Behind Japan, the problems in the Middle East, European debt issue concerns over a slowdown in Europe, a Chinese economic slowdown, and the spike in oil prices on top of already short-term overbought market conditions, and you have many good excuses to sell and take some profits. However, markets have rebounded the past couple of days, providing hope that the bull market is not over yet. Lower prices do not ration demand, they create demand. Japanese consumption is unlikely to fall except on a very temporary basis. Consumer concerns about the impact of any radiation exposure to Japanese-grown food are likely to encourage imported food over domestic food products. In addition, the USDA reported a sale of 116,000 metric tons of U.S. corn for 2010-2011 to an unknown destination. Later reports typically show that when an unknown buyer for soybeans exports is on the books, it usually turns out to be China. Could it be the same this time around for corn? Thoughts that China was the buyer of this corn sent corn futures limit up yesterday and provided a positive platform from which to launch off for today's rising prices, as Informa was out with lower than expected acreage estimates for 2011. Informa is now projecting U.S. corn acres at 91.75 million acres versus the USDA estimate of 92 and last year's estimate of 88.2 million acres. U.S. soybean acres are projected at 75.26 million acres versus the USDA's original estimate of 78 million acres and last year at 77.4 million acres. They're also estimating record cotton acres at 13.1 million acres versus last year's 10.5 and U.S. spring wheat acres at 14.2 million acres. This is not enough acres to fix a very tight supply in 2011. The tragedy in Japan, coupled with strong Chinese demand and Informa's lower than expected acreage estimates, could boost demand for commodities and send grain prices surging one last time. The potential is there once again to test the highs of 2008. Look for an exciting time in the next 2 to 4 months. That's all for today. Have a great weekend.